I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey, guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Sal.
Hey, everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is Fresh.
For some people, difficult transitions like retirement, divorce, or loss of a loved one may contribute to feelings of hopelessness or even thoughts of suicide. The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who've served our country, guys like me. Support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Learn how you can help at veteranscrisisline.net.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Thank you.
Yeah, every mic on but his.
There you go. All right.
He doesn't even have his own mic on. He's talking.
Yeah.
I'm off the air too.
Yeah.
It was equal opportunity.
Yeah, anybody could have had the mic now. So, yeah, welcome to the. Man, forget it. We're here. We're on air, and hopefully you guys are following and listening and hanging out with us and kicking it with us and learning everything and not learning everything. And yeah, duplicating our shows and all that good stuff. So yeah, hopefully you're having a good time with that. And, hey, we need royalties on our CD sales. I mean,
I know, right?
Seriously, no. But anyway, moving forward, we'll get into that story. You know, everybody hopefully had a good week. I'm hoping everybody had a good week. I mean, the big arguments this week have been about forgiveness and Christianity, and people, you know, a lot of people have been bashing Christians, especially male Christians, talking about they're soft as baby poo and all this kind of stuff, and they're so quick to forgive, and at what point do you stop forgiving and start fighting back, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, and people gave an example, you know, while you're kneeling and praying and singing and marching, somebody's coming behind you with a gun, shooting you in the back of the head or hitting you upside the head with a club. You know, at what point, you know, do you stand up and fight, and when is forgiveness necessary, and when is it, you know, a time for vengeance? You know, and my opinion, I think that it's an even balance at some point. You know, I think you can forgive, and you should forgive on the level of your heart and your sincerity, meaning everybody has a different level of patience and understanding and, you know, forgiveness. You know, my forgiveness level may not be yours or Ron's or Dave's or anybody else like that. So, you know, going back in another direction, my anger level or my temperament on a situation may be totally different than yours. I may be more reactionary as a person, may be more passive, you know. So do we generalize that? I know they're really pushing the whole African American agenda, black agenda, where, you know, they feel like, well, it's proven about 70 to 80% of the violent crimes happen either black on black, or there's a racism type crime that happens in America that affects African Americans. And at some point, when do you stop forgiving? Because we're not saying that it's a black and white thing all the time. It's also a black on black thing. And I also said, well, you know, and I said this in the post. I said, well, you know, it's doubly worse if a black man or black woman takes a life of another black person, you know, for no reason, no more than you being ignorant or violent or callous or whatever the case may be. That's a double violation in my point. If you got to look at it from a gang situation, you know, like, hey, you violated, you know, that was a violation. You need your butt dragged somewhere, you know. And then we have the racism part of it where, you know, you walk out your house or you go into an area and they like, hey, why are you here? And pa-pow, you know, or I go to jail for 30 years for, you know, an ounce of something, and somebody can, you know, white can kill 9 people and go to jail for 6 months, you know,
or 10 years, right?
10 years, right?
Yeah, you know, and the biggest thing for that is, and we are getting a little off topic, but the big thing for me on that is the hype of the media. You know, if a black person kills another black person, you don't really hear as much about it. But if it's a white person kills a black person, then you have that all over every news outlet because they have to play that up.
The media is fake news.
Well, that's the thing. People don't realize
Ask Cheez-It.
Well, hey, look at the show. We don't have drama on our show. People don't want to watch, so we have to, you know, start throwing fists here. You know, and people love us. But I mean, you know, it's the whole drama thing, and people are so big on the whole drama aspect. You know, I want to get back to what you originally were saying about the Christian aspect. Christians being too soft, but you know, we talked a little bit on the air before, off the air before we got on, and it's not just the Christians. I mean, there's other religions that do believe we're hands off. You know. Muslims, that's, you know, a lot of them, they will pray and they don't want war, and they don't want to, you know, those are the extremists that they kill for Allah and they do this and they, you know, it's fight all the time. There's Buddhists, you know, they don't believe in the fighting. It's not, you know, just Christians.
But, okay, I'm sorry, but can I interject, please?
Yeah, sure.
It's like this. This is how the revolution of religion got to where it's at now, because you have the old school Muslim saying an eye for an eye, justice. You have the old Christian law that was the same way, eye for an eye, and worse. If you don't believe what I believe, you die, because I have the right, because somebody put it in my mind that God told them it's okay to eradicate those non-believers. What?
That was Christianity.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Crusades.
The Crusades.
The Crusades, yeah.
And then how about, let's go even into medieval times. People were, if I didn't like you, I could call you a witch or a male witch and burn you at the stake.
Yeah.
You know, because
if you float in water, you're made of wood.
If
you die, you were okay.
You were okay because you died.
drowned.
And you're going to go, and God said that he's going to put you in a good place because this is the testimony. No, it was a lot of people getting murdered.
Yeah.
Way back in the day for less.
And you know, if you go back even further, let's go back to like the beginnings of Christianity. Christians, if you were a Christian, you were being killed. If you were, you know, if you followed Christ in Jesus, you know, you were
fed to the lions.
You were fed. You were killed. So, you know, time after time, I mean, people will throw a portion of time, a small portion, without looking at the full evolution, the full truths of beginnings, and where we've come and gone with things. People only want you to see what they want you to see, and only what they want you to know.
And that's why I said, you know, that's why I interjected, because when we start talking about the media, the thing is, there's an avenue to get the word out to the masses very quick, and it's called the media. Social media is the individuals who are not in the celebrity status that can reach hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Millions.
Or more, because if that post goes viral, you are an instant celebrity because you posted this, and all these people happen to agree with you. Where did that concept come from? Religion. Because if I can get a group of us to believe that God lives on Zenith, and in Zenith, he has spoken to me, and if I get you all to believe that that's true, Now we got a religion.
That's right. God
And then
gave me a book, and only I can see the book. And if you look at the book, you will die and burn, and the pages in it will do as well. So,
But for those weak-minded folks out there, if you're weak-minded, we're not bashing anyone's religion. We're just talking regarding the history of how religion came into. Because, and there's some people that are going to be like, I don't agree. Well, you have the right not to. But we're not bashing any religion. We have not talked down on any form of religion. If you are a Muslim, be proud of who you are. We're proud of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a Christian, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, if you're a sadist, if you are a person that believes in the earth, you have that right. So no one is bashing anyone's religion. So before anybody starts, they on the booth talking about religious people.
Mhm.
No, we're not.
yeah, I mean, we see people walking down the street outside the studio hugging trees. I mean, we don't know. Hey,
I had a close family.
I think
that-
people
kissing
hug trees
trees, you know?
because they're itching.
I had a neighbor who's been close to my family for longer than I've been alive, and I'm 46 years old. And my best friend, who was murdered 27 years ago, his mother passed away Saturday. So to the Buford and the Wilson families, my condolences to you all. But here is a perfect example. Reason why I'm bringing that up is, and it's ironic we're talking about religion, is because when my best friend got murdered a block away from his house, his mom back in the day was a very devoted Christian, went to church 3 times a week. And because of the nature of the crime, the church turned their back on her and the family. They would not let her have her son's funeral at the church that he grew up in. So, you know, we talk about coming together, and the reason why we go to church is for what? For everybody to get together and worship together as one. And, you know, there's more to the story, but the thing is, she had her faith tested because the church turned their back on her. She didn't turn her back on the church until they turned their back on her. And it was very sad, you know, and, you know, it's its own social media as its own.
yeah.
So, you know, people out there, you know, we always talk about what we need to do for the community and what we need to do as a people come together. And we talk about it here in the house music community. And we talk about it and we talk about it and we talk about it. But then when it comes to doing, all of those that are in favor of talking about it say aye. But then when it comes to doing, the nays come out. Well, I don't have time right now.
Yeah.
I don't have the time.
I call it the locker room talk. You know, just like in a lot of workplaces, people sit in the locker room, gripe and complain. But then when you tell them to come together to go to the bosses or bring it to, you know, someone else's attention, well, you know, I can't. No, I won't. Yeah,
I got a dentist appointment that day. You know,
they're all full of it. So, Derek, what have you been doing this weekend? Anything spectacular? Any shows or anything?
Well, as soon as I get you know, everybody was curious. Those of y'all that are curious that I go to T-Mobile. Yes, I'm with T-Mobile now. Yay! I'm with T-Mobile now. And, you know, I got because everybody's like, what did he? Okay, yeah. So I got the Note 10, and then now they're coming out with a whole new series where they're combining the Note 10 and the S class because Samsung's getting rid of the whole S series. And they said, if you're going to get the Note 10, you just wait and get this one because now the new, I think it's the one something is coming out, you know, with Samsung now where they combine both phones, you know, together, the best of both phones. So you'll have the stylus, the whole experience, because Samsung says they want to concentrate now on the folding phone, you know, the one that folds
which they
up
just
and
had
opens
to
up.
pull it from the shelf.
Right, and they say they really
defect.
want to focus on mastering that and getting the mini tablets out that you can fold, put in your pocket and the whole thing. And so I said, yeah, great, after I just spent this to get this flipping, you know. So, and I mean, literally, it was like maybe a half hour after I purchased the phone, then the whole ad comes up, don't get that 10 yet. You know, so, you know, but anyway, going back into it, you know, I was also, you know, because we were talking about Christianity, and the thing that upset me with one of the churches was they got rid of a mother of a church because she disagreed with the tithing process and where the money was going, and she refused to pay. So they banished her out of her church that she helped get going and that she has been a member of for almost 50 years.
There's definitely churches like that, and they want X amount of dollars. If you're not donating X amount of dollars every week or every month or every year, they basically, we don't want you no more. Really? Is it really all about the money?
Well, some churches ask for your tax returns, your pay stubs, and all of that. Yeah. I know a few of them that are serious about that, and you can't join until you submit that. And I'm like, well, you'll never see me there. I mean, a lot of things have created a distaste for me with Christianity, and I was explaining to the people, before that, when you got to be careful of, your heroes, because I had to bodyguard, people from different churches and spiritual leaders that are very well known for years. And, once you learn the secrets and figure and find out how they go about getting money and how they really feel about the people that worship them, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're that kind of a-hole.
Yeah, well, they're definitely
I can't believe you've been deceiving people like that. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, we got Glenn Underground. What's up, Glenn?
Glenn, what's up, bro?
So, we got all of these things happening, and it just kind of blew me, man. So I would say I'm more of a spiritualist than a Christian. When people call me Christian, I cringe. I know I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm spiritual. I'm believing spirituality and things of that nature. I can't co-sign the Christian belief. I can't. I can't.
Hey, we just had Mr. Bobby walk into the studio. Let's get his mic.
There you go.
We're having problems getting mics on time around here. I don't know.
I'll comment on some of the delays that we've had here too.
I know, right?
Mr. Bobby is in the house. What's up, brother?
Hi. I'm surprised I'm awake right now.
Yeah, you played late early this morning.
Yeah, I was over at 7 or something. Ooh. Probably got home at 8. I actually forgot I had to DJ at one point. I was going to go apple picking or something, and then I realized, I got to be here.
Well, I'm glad you didn't forget us.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for coming in. We're going to go to some music in a few seconds, and we're going to come back and start talking to Mr. Bobby about what Mr. Bobby has done, is doing in the Pilsen community, because his name is growing. Yeah. Growing.
Nice. I mean, he's not known just for his hair. I mean, he's known for other things as well.
No,
I love the hairdos, though.
The guy's all over Pilsen. He is. We'll get more into it, but he's a permanent member over at Exit.
Yeah,
correct?
Pretty much.
And
I have 3 events there.
It's this guy is all over the place. If you don't know him, you're gonna know him, and we're gonna get into some of his music in a minute. But we're gonna go to about 15 minutes of some music
new
for
tracks.
Everybody?
That's right. We got to keep playing those new tracks.
All right. Well, stay tuned.
No, those are the other ones we get from the label.
Cool.
Stay tuned. We will be right back with Mr. Bobby in the house at DaBooth312 88.9 FM, Chicago.
DaBooth.
dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop your crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them. If you feel that you can't take no more, and your feet are headed for the door, gotta keep on dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop your crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them. At 12 midnight, I'll be waiting for you. So don't forget what you have to do. Gotta keep on dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop the crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them. Dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop the crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them. If you feel that you can't take no more, and your feet are headed for the door, gotta keep on dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop the crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them. At 12 midnight, I'll be waiting for you. So don't forget what you have to do. Gotta keep on dancing and prancing, grooving, keep on moving, flying, stop the crying, choosing while you're cruising. Music is the answer to your problems. Keep on moving, then you can solve them.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello. Hey, I'm Dua Lipa. Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Booth 312, broadcast from WIT 88.9 FM in Chicago and theboothradio.com. All right, guys, we got Mr. Bobby in the studio.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. Hey, thanks again for coming in, man. I know you were half awake, half asleep coming in here, but
a lot of coffee,
happy, man. Yeah, definitely get that rush going to get you, pumping. And then you'll have your fall off after the show, right?
Yeah, I'll probably go to sleep for a couple hours, at least till tomorrow or something.
No picking apples today. All right. If you guys don't know who Mr. Bobby is, you haven't been looking on social media enough, because Mr. Bobby's been doing a lot of great things. And he's really known for his hair. If you guys have not seen those new colors, new tints and everything. I know a lot of people talk about your hair because, you go out and you get style.
Yeah. That's how everybody notices me, at least.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things.
I walk down the street, they scream out of a car as they're passing by, like, Bobby. And I never know who it is. Honestly, I just hear my name and then look back and they're already gone.
Well, I'm passing the car, yeah. But you've been doing a lot of great things. I know you're really well known for one of your more recent events going on in Pilsen. How has that been going for you?
If you mean the Pilsen Festival, they gave me my own stage, the Bobby's World stage. They named it after me.
Bobby's World.
At first, they asked me, when they first asked me to help out with it, they asked me if I wanted to call it that. I didn't think I wanted to call it that because I just don't really want. I feel like it's too. I don't know. I'm not a very confident person. It's like okay. It's all about me. I don't like that. But my friend Gil, he's an amazing hairstylist. He's my hairstylist who does my hair all the time. He told me that I should do it. I should take advantage of it and just kind of push myself out there. It'll help me get known better, which I think it has. And after that, I just started calling it the Bobby's World stage. This will be the second. Oh, this was the second year. We'll be from now on taking care of it myself. I basically just invite a bunch of friends who are a bunch of artists. I know so many artists. They're just kind of standing around the stage. A bunch of DJ friends. I like to do it personally, where everyone's going back to back. I don't like it when it's just one person. I think it should be a lot of fun and just everyone being able to share their musical taste. So the other thing is music spans from like reggaeton to house to techno to drum and bass to some synth wave and new wave-ish stuff, and like it just goes all over the spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's nice too, because you're not stuck in just one area. And being Pilsen Fest in that area too, there's certain areas you have strictly bachata area, and that's pretty much all you would hear is them playing, bachata or cumbia or something, and then you'd have the banda, bandereros playing in certain areas. But with you, I mean, everyone that kind of funnels to your stage is going to get a mix of everything.
Yep.
So they're not going to be just, this is only house or this is only going to be techno. I mean, they can stick around and then all of a sudden it changes. So.
And they weren't just DJs from Chicago. He had some out of town guys play last year or this year.
The year before we had both actually. The Pilsen Fest guys, they always give me some really cool people who are visiting from out of state, out of country, really.
So so it's not just he showcases primarily the Chicago DJs. And I read a comment earlier this week that somebody was saying that there's no house music venues or house music DJs on the north side. That's not true, because Mr. Bobby here plays at Exit. He's a resident DJ at Exit, and I'll let him tell more about his story. But I mean, he gets around. This guy gets around, but he's one of the nicest guys I've met in the industry. So, ever since meeting you at Twisted Cantina, real cool. Never seen this guy in a bad mood. So, how did your history in music and house music begin?
I guess my older brother and my cousins, they all started throwing parties at different banquet halls. I think the group was called Mayhem Productions or something. I helped out. I promoted. Like I would go outside of schools across the street and pass out flyers and stuff. Then they formed a group called Profound Image, which I finally started joining. It was just a promoter. We'd get like different places like the Orbit, Farama, Michelle's Ballroom, different banquet halls, like I said, and just we'd have like 1,000 people. Like it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. After a while, I think my brother left. We kept doing stuff, and then we just kind of separated. I started doing my own stuff, but at that point, I think I was more into like punk music.
Okay.
So I did like 1 or 2 different events that were more with punk bands, and those were really cool. They were really big. And just more like we'd put like flyers in the train and like put them all up over everywhere. Then after that, I just decided I wanted to DJ, so I started like doing parties in my backyard, other people's backyards, houses, and then it grew from there to warehouses, empty storefronts, loading docks, really anywhere. And then it just kept going and going and going, and I guess I'm now on festivals. And
well, sitting next to Derek Smokin' Jones, who has a big time lineage, and then he been, said, everybody's wanting to go to different people's festivals. I'm gonna create my own, and now you got the Music Alliance Festival. So, I mean, great minds in the room here. So great minds think alike. So, tell us more. Have you got into producing? And
yeah, I used to produce. I actually started producing when I was like 15, and I think I used some program called New Beat Transmission or something, where each key on the keyboard would be a different sample. So every time you pressed it, it would turn on or off. And so that's how I started my first music. But then I moved to Fruity Loops, then from Fruity Loops to Reason, from Reason to Ableton. Life gets really busy, so like you find time to make music sometimes you don't. Sometimes it takes like years to finish that one track. I was telling him actually, I lost my music. I had it on a hard drive, all my music on a hard drive. I had it on my desktop. It fell down, broke. I lost everything. So then I started over, where I was just singing on other people. I sing.
Okay.
I started singing on other people's music, and I never really backed everything up. And I had it all on a laptop. I was DJing somewhere because I was DJing off a laptop for a little while, and I put it in my trunk. I went to, I think it was Evil Olive or something. I came back out because the trunks always got stolen or broken into by Evil Olive all the time.
Yep.
Every single time. So yeah, my stuff got stolen from my car. So that was the second time. And I was telling him again, I kind of felt like I just wanted to quit and just give up and get a real job and just, like maybe this isn't for me. Maybe should just, like, I don't know, just it's hard. It's hard. This is a labor of love. It's never really made you rich. It's never, it makes you rich in a different way. You get love, appreciation from friends and family, but you don't have money to do stuff.
Right. Definitely. So you kept persevering through it.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about, you just been talking about Pilsen Fest. What other big projects do you have? And you were talking about some upcoming stuff you got going on as well. So why don't you?
So like I have, I love music. Well, my music that I make, it comes out kind of gothy, dark. That's the kind of feel, right? So I love music in general. So when I first started DJing, I started with more industrial music. So I opened up for like some industrial acts, and where was it going? I don't know. I love music. So one of the parties I play for is called Asylum. Second Fridays of the month at Exit, and that's more EBM, synthwave, industrial, just darker sounds. Then I have every third Friday of the month, that's Black Light Blackout, which we hit 8 years, just like a little while ago.
I remember seeing that flyer.
8 years. It's crazy. But that one's more, honestly, it goes all over the spectrum. Bassline, techno, tech house, drum and bass, juke, footwork, like literally everything, all genres.
Sounds
And
like my
during the night, it actually changes.
That's my party.
Can you say that again? Can you name those? You just said you have juke and
juke, footwork,
techno,
drum and bass.
Once again, it goes back to somebody
everything,
that put up a post saying there is no house music on the north side. Wrong, because here the north side has got juke being played at Exit. Yeah. And if you've never been to Exit,
it always kills. It does. Everybody loves it.
That's just
well,
the
you
thing.
might have made Corky Trackman feel better now.
Well,
but I mean Corky wants it more on the south side.
Right.
I think we've had him at, I know I've had him at a Vice. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we've had him at a Blacklight before.
Corky?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's played here on the show. He hasn't been here in a while, but I mean, it's just that once again, it just shows people if you've never been to Exit, if you go to Exit, the first my first experience there, I thought I was at the wrong spot. Yeah. I walked in the door and the big bouncer was right there, and they were playing punk rock music.
Yeah, the downstairs.
And I'm like, I'm looking for a club called Exit. He goes, "You're here," and I'm like, because I'm supposed to be playing house music. Oh, that's upstairs, and I'm like, up where? And he showed me the stairs, and it was like Bram Stoker's Dracula when he was guiding him by his shoulder like this. And I'm like, I'm going up these stairs. Okay. And I'm just waiting on vampires to come out like from dusk till dawn, and then bam, there's
another cool party. Go ahead.
But I mean, you get upstairs and you got goth people, you got house people, you got preppy people, everybody's upstairs. Yeah. And blew me away.
Like the old original party way, where you had everyone.
Like how Medusa's were.
Exactly. That's what I love about Exit.
House music. When you gonna play house? And everybody is stuck in the Frankie Ronnie underground era, on the southeast side. You do have people that are open more and more to tribal and soulful now, and we're getting them more acclimated. And I'm even doing it in my mixes now with more tech house. I
love tech house.
So it's like you got to spoon feed the southeast side, and then people like me and Ron, if you're guys that starve for different genres of music, we have to always try and go north somewhere because it's like, it's like holding a pee all day, and it's like I gotta pee. So it's like when you go up there, you say, I can play. You go over here, it's like, I gotta hold it.
It's like some of the places, I'm playing, it's all they want to hear is the 80s, 90s house and the B96 type, style. It's like, I want the new stuff. I want to play something new. I want what DJing really was. You're putting out the new albums, the new releases, not stuck in just the old, music.
Educate people.
Well, how are you going to educate us today? What kind of tracks do we expect to hear from you today?
Honestly, if I wasn't playing so much, I'd have more time to really get something together. I think I spent maybe less than an hour yesterday to try and get some songs. I think I'm playing some more tech house, bassline.
We're going to put a mic by you and you can sing for us too?
That I have not heard you do.
Honestly, I one day I'd like to do that where I can DJ and then I'll play my song and I'll sing at the same time and then just DJ out of it.
A guy beat you in already in New York. He's doing it. He's a one-man band. You see that on Facebook?
I think I did.
No,
the singing DJ, and he's got his keyboard. He had the trumpet, the mic.
Because he jumped up and he was
and he would jump up and start playing. Then he go back and then he was doing.
See, I remember I used to. I did a few gigs with a dancing DJ. So we were out, and he'd play long tracks, and he'd get out there with his wife, and they'd start dancing. So even if the crowd really wasn't going to a song or whatnot, they moved so much. They actually started bringing people in. They would branch off, and then the wife would grab some dude and start dancing, and he would grab some girl and start dancing, and they'd start bringing people on, and then he'd go back in and do the blend and get another track in. Then they'd be back out there again. So yeah, here we go. Now we got the singing DJs. So what's next? But then again, some of these promoters, that's what they want. They want you to sing and dance and play a show. And
Cascade. I mean, if you remember, what was that? About 10 years ago, maybe more. Cascade had, was DJing in, I think it was in Vegas, and he had the live singers from his album performing while he was remixing it live. and they're singing. I mean, and if you've never seen Cascade play, Cascade's a beast. And he went from very housey to EDM back to like a tech house, and now he's back into this funky house. If you follow Cascade, I do. I follow him. He's a magnificent producer, but his artistic realm is huge.
I want to do more chill. I think I want to get back in. I want to start mixing chill again because I haven't did it in so long.
You know, that beach house sound is great. I hate that I heard someone, I'm not going to mention their name, but someone made a title for that kind of house. They took it from beach house to sleepy house. Oh, they're playing that sleepy
It's funny
house.
because I did a mix like that, and that's exactly what I was told. I did a chill house, and it's like, oh, that puts me to sleep. Oh, that's sleepy house. You know, you can't play that.
I'm like, where did the title?
People don't understand. Really? Everybody has a different vibe. You know, I like chill when you're doing lakefront parties, boat parties, stuff like that. Yeah. You know, right. You know, and then you go, you know, I think you feed your audience different things, and you got to let people kind of sample stuff. It's like having like he said, a box of chocolates. You sample stuff and see what you like and what you don't like, you know. But
you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
all right, guys. Well, we know what we're going to get, so you guys stick around right here for more to come because you're going to get a taste of Mr. Bobby right here. So when you guys see him at the festivals, Pilsen Fest, and anywhere else, exit, you can let them know that you heard about him first right here on the Booth 312. So stick around for more to come on the Booth 312, broadcast from WIT 88.9 FM in Chicago and theboothradio.com.
Hey man, what's up with all the bags?
Oh, nothing. Just picked up a bunch of clothes and food to send to the relief effort overseas.
You know all that stuff is going to cost more to ship, and if it gets there, probably won't even be used.
At least I'm trying to do something.
It's good that you want to help, but there's an easier way. If you donate cash, the professionals will be able to purchase exactly what they need.
You know, I never looked at it that way.
It's plain and simple. Cash is the most efficient way to help disaster relief efforts. Even an amount as small as $10 can give the victims some of the necessities that are even more crucial while they're recovering.
Brought to you by the Center for International Disaster Information.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello. Hey, I'm Dua Lipa. Hey, guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey, everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Pain or no pain, your wisdom teeth should be checked every year. If wisdom teeth come in properly and meet the right conditions, they are generally safe to keep. But left unchecked, they can put you at risk for gum disease, tooth decay, and damage to adjacent teeth. Some wisdom teeth grow in at such an angle that they never break through the gum, which can lead to tooth decay, gum disease, cysts, and tumors. These impacted teeth can only be seen on x-rays, so the damage they may cause can go undetected if they are not checked by a dental professional. Some people just don't have enough room for another tooth in their mouth, so their wisdom teeth can affect adjacent teeth when they come in. This can make it difficult to chew, difficult to keep them all clean, and misalign your teeth. Not all wisdom teeth need to be removed, but they all do need to be monitored by an oral and maxillofacial surgeon. Find a surgeon near you for a complete examination. If your wisdom teeth do need to be removed, the procedure can be done in an office setting with minimal post-operative pain and swelling. Remember, pain or no pain, your wisdom teeth should be checked every year. Find your local oral and maxillofacial surgeon at myoms.org.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
but what you talking about? Talking about, talking, 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 but what you talking about? Talking, talking, I see your lips moving, but what you talking about? Talking, 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 but what you talking about? Talking, talking, I see your lips moving. What you talking about? 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 I see your lips moving, but what you talking about? I see your lips moving, but what you talking about? But what you talking about? I see your lips moving, but what you talking about? But what you talking about? I see your lips moving, but what you talking about?
Some shapes, get it right up in my space and shake it, shake it. Dance a little, move some more, push it back down to the floor and shake it, just shake it. Looking deep into my eyes, bend it back and do your best to break it, break it. Girl, you really look the part, you try, you got my heart, now take it, just take it. Come on over, cut some shapes, get it right up in my space and shake it, shake it. Dance a little, move some more, push it back down to the floor and shake it, just shake it. Looking deep into my eyes, bend it back and do your best to break it, break it. Girl, you really look the part, we try, you got my heart, now take it, just take it.
see. But I heard they play a couple CDs. 8 quid for a G&T. Probably gonna spill it on my jeans. Don't really care honestly, cause I only need the crew plus me. We stay all day, UK, okay, just vibes. We slide all day, all night, all night, all night, all night, all night. I don't stop, I don't sleep. crew plus me.
All night. 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 All night.
Only need my crew plus me.
All night. 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 All night.
Only need my crew plus me. Only one place we wanna be. Only need the crew plus me. Don't know who we're gonna see, but I heard they play a couple CDs. £8 for a G&T. Probably gonna spill it on my jeans. Don't really care honestly, cause I only need the crew plus me. We stay, hey, UK, okay, just vibes. We slide all day, all night, all night, all night, all night, all night. I don't sleep, cause I only need the crew plus me.
When it comes to house every weekend, when it comes to house every weekend, when it comes to house every weekend, house every weekend, house every weekend, when it comes to house every weekend, house every weekend, house every weekend. I work hard, I love you. There's no need to fake it, but staying in the house every weekend, I just can't take it. I work hard, and if I don't let myself go, let myself go, let myself go, I just let myself go, let myself go, let myself go, I just made it let myself go, let myself go, let myself go, I just made it let myself go, let myself go, let myself go, I just made it comes to house every weekend.
There's some things that I can do to make your body dance. 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 I know how to get to you to make you dance. Now dance. Dance. There's some things that I can do to make your body dance. 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 I know how to get to you to make you dance. Now dance. There's some things that I can do to make your body dance. 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 I know how to get to you to make you dance. Now dance. Dance.
high volume. Preferably. This should be played at high volume. Preferably. This should be played at high volume. Preferably. This should be played at high volume. Preferably.
Make it funky.
Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. Let's go camping. I wanna go camping with you all night camping. I wanna go. Let's go
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Oh, he's looking at me. That was funny, Rob. Okay, so yeah, we are back. We just got to mix with Mr. Bobby. See, that's what I like, man. Diversity in music.
World.
Some of you guys, man, need to graduate your ears a little bit and stop being so stubborn and stuck in a time warp. You know, it's like somebody zapped you with the 80s and 90s bubble, and you I don't know how to get out.
But you know what? I mean, for all intents and purposes, and I think I can speak for everybody in this room. It's not, and some of the folks, like I said, I kept referring to it, a Facebook post about how house music has transitioned and how the comparison the folks had said in this post, the reason why we don't appreciate the new stuff, it's like, and this is exactly verbatim what they said, it's just like comparing the new hip hop to old school hip hop, and I'm like, okay, you still got rappers and hip hop artists who still have that old school sound, but it's new. So you like them, but I get the mumble rap. I get that. So, but I don't think house music, and I'm just like anybody here, we always preach about getting the music across to all generations, not just the older folks or the younger folks, it's everybody. And to play house music and hear somebody say, well, you know, I don't like that new stuff. What do you mean you don't like the new stuff? You liked it when it first came out. The old stuff, when it first came out, it was new. So you weren't sitting back saying, I'm not listening to that then. You were like, oh, time to jack. Wow. And it blew up. And hey, man, when that first came out, people, you couldn't get enough of it. Now you play it, somebody looking at you like, this fool playing hey.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And you also got to remember, no one liked Hey Hey when it first came out.
No one.
When I first played Hey Hey, people got on the floor and were like,
they just stopped and look at you.
and they were like, what kind of devil is this? burn thee at the stake.
But you know when Hey Hey first came out, when Hey Hey first came out, you know who embraced it first? The EDM crowd, because it didn't have the EDM drops and everything, but that bass line came in, and it just cultivated everybody, old, young, and then it wasn't in an EDM genre. It just came out when in the EDM hype. And then the house folks just jumped all over like, woo! And now it became a sword. Let me hit you with Hey Hey. And it got hit Hey Hey every day.
I mean, yeah, you got Hey Hey Superman, you got Hey Hey. Everything is Hey Hey now. Hey, good. Hey, Dennis, you did your dang thong thing, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you're listening, please come on the show. Come here.
But Marshall Jefferson had replied on one of my posts, him and Keith Nunley. And, because we had that conversation, when we were at my house and everything, but we kind of got back on it because I had put a post up about how I've been feeling lately about DJing. And I don't know if you guys saw it, where I just been in this rut where I couldn't see, when I look at my decks or controllers at home, I go like, dag, do I really got to touch them? Because handling a festival, record label, and all the different things I do, and then you got to do production, and you get so into production, and then I teach people how to use Fruit Loops, Ableton, and all this kind of stuff at home, right? So I sit back and I was telling my wife, I said, man, I can't get motivated like I want to spin anymore. And I envy a lot of the guys that get on Facebook Live and just be
I'm one of them.
And I'll be like, and look, I'm gonna be honest, I vibe off you all's energy, and I be like, oh, they look so happy and so great, and where is that in me now?
But you know what's missing? I'll tell you. It's great when you're doing Facebook Live. Me and Dave do Facebook Live sets at our house and have people over, and it's great. But there's number one entity that's missing, and that missing entity is the crowd on the dance floor. See, I see a camera in front of me. I got a camera in front of me right here. But when I'm playing, and even here, when I'm playing, I look over at you, Rob, Dave, who our guest is, and if the guest and y'all ain't moving your head, I'm like, what's wrong? Because I have something to read off of. When it kills me, and I'm not bashing anybody, but it kills me when you see the guys doing Facebook Live and they're paying more attention to the chat room than what they're doing, because they're worried about what somebody's saying. Hey, what's up? And they're sitting there. Hey, what's up? And you're trying to play. I take my hat off to you if you can wear those hats. But I'm trying to focus on the music to come across with my storyline to keep you grasped in that camera view. But I don't have anybody to read off of. So when I do have people at the house and they're grooving, I look over, okay, they're dancing. Okay, so I got something. But on those times where the weather's bad, nobody comes out, I just do a solo show by myself.
I get you, and I agree. But I'm past that stage. This is going on 36, 37 years for me. So it's one of those things where I think one of the things, I'm be honest, let's just be totally transparent. One of the things that drained me was all the drama in house music. The fun of it for me had went from just getting up, having a good, see, when we started in the 80s, we played the music and we just had fun. And if we battled each other, we were in the basement, and we trash talked each other, but we were still friends and we had a good time. And then it was the thing, making the tracks was just something coincidental to the music that we were playing, because we'd be like, oh, you made that? Well, I'm gonna make this and put this bass line on it, and we're gonna put it out, and then we go run back and forth and we have a good time with it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't where it's so competitive now, and I think that's one of the things that has taken the joy out of DJing for me a little bit. And the other thing is just the decisiveness in the groups of cliques and guys and how they treat each other. That drains me. And then it's the whole, I don't care where I go and what I tune into. I mean, everybody wants to be a DJ now. I mean, whether you're a rapper, actor, singer, your neighbor's dog has got headphones on and he's got his paw scratching, and I like that. And then the thing that Marshall just mentioned on the post, which he and I both have in common, we listen to everything. He didn't know. He tagged me talking about, yeah, man, check out Yanni, dude. I've been knew about Yanni. I love Yanni, So we were just back and forth. We listened to jazz, classical. He sent me the link to the original. People don't know there is an original Sing Sing that was done in the 30s or the 40s, the real Sing Sing. And, how they housed it up. My wife says, I hate the house version, but I love the original. So, it's all of these types of things. We came up in an era where I was listening to classic rock and Pink Floyd and, the Police and everything. And that influenced me to go. If I heard a cool bass line in Pink Floyd or heard something awesome and with a track that Journey did or something, and then I would go and get on the old Elisa's drum machine and be like, yeah, this is kind of cool.
With that motivation in your head.
I felt it.
Right.
Now it's work, and it depresses me because I want that feeling back. I want that joy when I get behind the decks and go, yeah, I can play. I have no problem playing.
So why not?
But the heart part of it is kind of gone.
Why not stop looking at it as work and look at it as a fun thing that you got going on, like a project?
Well, it's easier said than done. And I definitely know what Derek's saying because there's times I'm like that too.
But that's where you hit the reset button. I mean, and that's the part that's easier said than done. Don't you agree? Hitting the reset button when you have to tell yourself, hey, you know what? Let me pull back and get back into what got me inspired in the first place. Because you're doing it so much. Yeah. And
I guess in a way, Derek already explained that before. That's where he changes. That's why he, expresses what he's done before. And stop me if I'm wrong, but you've said it before in the air that, you're not just doing just house or just a soulful house track. You're doing, some EDM. You're doing some techno. You're doing a little bit of everything to keep you going. And me, that's what I do too. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired of playing classic house all the time. For these crowds and everything. And Dave C, he can contest to this. We were just at an event, and a few of the people there wanted me to spin, and I was just like, what am I going to play? Same thing that everybody else is playing.
And
thank you.
I can't do it. That has been my argument. Why is it that people get mad when the next DJ gets on and he plays something different, and everybody's like, oh, he playing that stuff. But you've got DJs that progress throughout the night that have played old school, and they just progress from old school into the new stuff. Yeah. Be perceptive, be open to it, because ain't nobody telling Marshall Jefferson, who said he's got 10 City new album coming out. Ain't nobody calling him up saying, well, it better sound like the old stuff, because if it don't,
did you all see the video when he was doing it at my house?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Marshall, he did it on my Kai, right? And he says, yeah, Smoke, I don't want no pre-made samples or anything like that, because sometimes I'll make my own loops and save them, make my own loops, save them, and I sell the packs out. People want drum loops, whatever. And he says, no, I want to do my own. And he says, okay, man, screw me on this drum real quick. So I showed him, and just the expertise in the dude, how fast he took on to it, and he was like. And Curtis was sitting in my easy chair, which I wanted him out of it, and all of a sudden he's like, there you go, Marshall, there you go. And I was like, yeah. And he said, oh man, that's gonna be hot. And then Marshall's like, bring up the keyboard. And then what happened, I had ran an update on my system, and for whatever reason, we were using my MPC program, and it's a thing in there called bank. So my bank files were all gone, so I couldn't bring up any keyboard sounds.
Oh, wow.
And I was ticked off, and he was on such a good roll, so I had to send him the files over and everything, and then I got stuff for Byron done. And I think, just getting back to the point, I'm hoping when I get finished with the album that I'm doing now, I can focus on being the DJ again. Before the festival stuff hits, because I'm already having meetings, because to do big festivals, you have tons of meetings, So I'm praying that I can get that energy back. And and all that. And to answer what Ron was saying earlier about how we pick new and old music. Well, back in the day in the 80s, it was only so many labels putting out music and it was only so many artists. So when you introduced a new track, they were so far in between. People were excited when they came out. Now, like Marshall said when he was on the show, you got thousands and thousands of tracks coming out a day.
Daily, yeah.
And it's hard to, grasp, like, is this going to be the hit? Is that going to be the hit?
Yeah.
And then, of course, friends of friends, clicks of clicks. Hey, give me your stuff. I'll play it. Hey, I'll put it on the air. I'll put it on my radio show. I'll do this and I'll do that. And there'll be so many other hot tracks out there that never get a chance because you don't look out for your boy or your girl.
It's okay to be helping your friends out and everything and play their tracks. But, within that mist, like you said, there's so many other ones out there. Start working on those too. But at the same time, we've talked about this before too. We were talking to Dave and I. We were talking to. I'm going to draw a blank on his name now. Who were we just talking to? Went to his 45 party. Jesse De La Pena. And Jesse even said, it's hard to go through so much music and to listen to everything when you're getting thousands and thousands of songs. You can't hit everything. But with so many DJs out there, your mixes really, for the most part, should be different. Because not everyone has the same taste. Not everyone has the same feeling. So why are you mimicking everyone else just because, well, I know that's a hot track. Well, that's great. Don't get me wrong. But there's so many other tracks out there. Why aren't you pushing to get all those other ones?
What are you experiencing that,
Yeah,
Bobby?
Bobby. What do you got?
I'm staying out of this one.
He's like, you don't know where to go with that one.
Dave's got something to say, but his mic's not.
I don't think it's on.
I just
It's on,
heard you.
but it's
on.
kind of low. You gotta turn him up.
Where's his volume at?
Same one as
I
our
lost my
drops.
chain of thought now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all the way up. It's all the way up. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I can hear you.
No, going back to what Smoke was saying about, that passion. Back in the day, we started off in the basement, in the bedroom, and we wanted to do it. And now it transitioned to we need or we have to do it because we have bookings. You got to get so much new music out there. I think it just kind of takes away from that thrill because you feel more obligated than have the desire to do it. Because that's all I wanted to do was I'd go in the basement and you can forget about it. Girlfriend called him, texted me, I'm in the basement, leave me alone.
Right.
Now,
don't you see the purple bulb on, broad?
The red light's on. The red light's on.
Yeah. I had the blue light specials. Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of my thought on it. It's just it's starting to become a job, and so you have to take it more seriously. There's so many levels to it now with the internet and social media, and it just gets draining.
And
exactly
it's competitive. You get it's so competitive. And then you have so many jealous people when it gets competitive, Whoa. And then the thing that always gets me, well, you're older school. Why don't you step back and let the new school do something?
God.
Dude, I'm still eating off of this. I'm still paying bills off of this. Are you serious?
Right,
I'm like, oh.
They're already putting your foot in the grave, and you're like,
Right,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not that old, Yeah, I mean, but with that, last Sunday after I left the show, went over to Harry Peru's birthday party. Nice. And there was a young man, 17-year-old young man, came up, and this was his first, party that he's doing. And Harry said, hey, bro, now I'm in there jamming. I'm in the zone. And Harry says, I got this new kid. This is going to be his first time. He's going to do back-to-back with you. And I said, okay.
That's cool.
Cool. And it was an honor because this kid never seen or heard of me before, but he was like, I got to come in off of that. He's playing like a beat. He's beating it. And I'm like, come on, get in there. And he started getting in there. And then all of a sudden the training wheels came off. And I was like, I remember this feeling. And he started running and I faded out. And we went back to back 2 other tracks. And then I said, Harry, is he good to keep on going? And Harry was like, yeah. And to watch this 17-year-old captivate a small crowd, but to him, it was like 1,000 people, and you should have saw his face. He had a very serious face. He was
Most Chicago DJs do. Very focused.
Very focused. And then his buddy came up and started playing with him, and you could see he relaxed, and then it just flowed. And I'm like, dude, he was tearing up. I wish I remembered that kid's name because I would have been like, let's bring him on the show. 17 years old, beating it up. And I'm like, man. And it was good. It was good. So it wasn't that he was looking at, man, all these old folks in here. He's 17. He's 8. You're not even old enough to drink that beer that's sitting right next to you. He wasn't drinking beer. But it was the fact that you're not old enough to drink the beer, but you banging it out like you should be already in a club. And, guys like DJ Pope's son. Pope's son is about 18 years old.
Yeah, he's getting it. Yeah.
He's getting it on the East Coast.
And he's loving, I love his energy.
And he's having fun. It's not a job for him. He's having fun.
That's the feeling I've been missing. And that's what I've been looking for. And that's what actually realistically, that's what kind of has set me into depression. When I watched that kid, I was like, I remember that. And he's so carefree. He's not thinking about anything. He's just playing the music and he's jamming with his dad, And I said, that's so awesome. My kid wants to be in a rock band, which is fine, And my son's all tattooed and pierced up, So it's like, but but the whole thing is, I'm glad he's in music, And I told him, I said, if something happens to Dad, you take the whole shebang and have a good time, But at the end of it, man, that's the feeling, I mean, if I'm paid to do it, I'll give somebody a good job because I have to, But it's that whole thing, and then I'm trying to I had to fight to get myself back into focus, even when I do the little freebie things that people are still watching. You got to do it, And they say money is the big motivator, but but at the end of the day, you still get it done. But man, it's just like, man, I said, I'll look at my decks and I just go, do I want to spend the day? And I might get up in the morning and be all fired up for it and just be like, maybe tomorrow. And,
I know
and I have so much new music, And then I start thinking about the politics, the drama, the whole, and I just be like, yes, So I'm sorry, and I'm trying to get that out. I've been meditating more and, things of that nature where I can get past it, you know what I mean? Get it out of my spirit, get that negativity out of my spirit, and keep those negative forces away from me, unfriend them, get away from them, unfollow them, because they can just drain you with their drama and their woe is me and politics. Man, So that's right.
Yeah, I said it myself, and I think I told you about that, Derek. I was ready to get off the grid myself with all the problems, so I get it. All right, guys, stick around for more to come right here. When we come back, we're going to see who's going to be thrown down for you next from the Booth crew. So stick around for more to come on the DaBooth312, broadcasting from WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago and DaBoothRadio.com.
We served our country like those before us.
It was a dangerous area. All of Vietnam was dangerous.
The carnage of war left an indelible mark on me.
We came back and built lives. As time went on, we faced new challenges and found support to handle them.
I went to the VA, talked to my doctor.
I started doing groups. I started doing one-on-one counseling.
At MakeTheConnection.net, you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Hey, Doc, over here. Remember me?
Not now, Triglyceride. I'm trying to get everybody to remember you. I'm Dr. Donica Moore. We all know about good and bad cholesterol. But how much do you know about your triglyceride level?
150. Tell him to keep me under 150.
She's right. Experts say normal triglycerides are below 150. Elevated triglyceride levels can increase your risk of heart disease. And if you're a woman, that risk goes up even more.
Don't risk it, people. Heart disease is not pretty.
As you may have guessed, the forgotten fat, triglyceride, is ready to share the attention with good and bad cholesterol.
Good this, bad that. Nah, nah, nah.
For your sake and mine, always remember to ask about the good, the bad, and the forgotten fat, triglycerides.
Hey, Doc, did they get that 150 message?
They got it. For more information on all of your blood fats, go to ForgottenFat.com.
That's ForgottenFat.com.
We all know you're there now. This message brought to you by Sister to Sister, working together for healthy hearts.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
My soul used to long for that piece that was missing. I used to think that I would never have my soul desires fulfilled. And then he came to me like a thief in the night, my intoxicating lover. Kisses of his lips, and I was his, and he mine. My red chocolate king. Your eyes permeate me, my soul, my intoxicated lover. Your eyes permeate my soul, my intoxicated lover. Your lips, ooh. Your lips, I salivate for them. Then you whisper when you talk to me. Closely I am to you, I'm mesmerized as you passionately proclaim your love for me. Me staring, wanting nothing more but to kiss them so softly and gingerly, licking them at the same time, looking in your eyes, connecting our words and soul together, falling safely into your arms, melting deeply into your being, loving every moment, still thanking God you were sent to me. Finally, starting a healing for us both. Relearning how to trust, love, and laugh again. When you know your heart is safe, there comes a freedom to love unconditionally that takes you to that place, that space that I feel like, that feels like a sweet melody. You see, you have to be open for the healing. It takes giving your all to get everything. What would you give for the healing? What would you give for the
hands now.
You're listening to a live mix by DJ RTW.
Unreroute the rivers, let the damned water beat. There's some people down the way that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free. The people are thirsty because of man's unnatural hand. Watch what happens when the people catch wind, when the water hit the banks of that hard, dry land. Liquid spirit, liquid spirit, liquid spirit, liquid spirit. Clap your hands now.
it wouldn't just exactly make any difference about the tenability of the voice or nothing like that, boy. But it takes the man with the most experience, to my understanding, to make the best season. You see, if you bring a brand new man, yes, he could have a voice where he could sing just like Peter could preach, and he didn't know what to sing about, but he could do good. Well, boy, where I got in trouble, first time, go to the bar, and I just got in and just wake so much. I had to wake, cut up the fella and shoot him up, and then when I got out of penitentiary, I thought I had waked enough, and I decided I could make a living without waking, and I come in to put the cushion on folks, and that wouldn't do it, and I come in with speed and everything, wasn't hard to nail down. Before we just come in to running me, here we are doing. So after I got him started running, I just kept on doing it. Fighting, eating, robbing. Sometimes I wouldn't be done nothing, but I've been doing so much that we need to get there.
machine blows a room.
Hey, we are almost out of time. We got RTW, the lube man, on the ones and twos, throwing down for you. Hey, I want to thank each and every one of you all for lending us your ears each and every Friday. Each and every Friday. We're on Sunday. I'm already trying to get to the next weekend. Each and every Sunday, right here, DaBooth312, 88.9 FM, on the live dial, on Facebook, on YouTube, and about 15 other platforms worldwide. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for lending us your ear. Thank you to our special guest, Mr. Bobby, for being in the studio today, throwing down with us. Mad love. Hey, check him out in Pilsen. Check him out at the events in Pilsen, and check him out at Exit each and every Friday night, correct? Or Saturday? Hold on. Let me turn the mic on. What's that?
Second Friday, third Friday, and fourth Saturday.
There
at
you
Exit.
go.
Second floor.
At the Exit on the second floor, not the first floor. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for our special guests coming into the studio to chill with us. Love all my fellow house DJs here in the station and abroad. Be safe for this week, and house music all night long. We'll see you next Sunday right here. Isn't next Sunday our guest appreciation show, right? Next Sunday. I think it's the 27th. So stay tuned. We'll give you that information coming out soon. But we're going to close it out with Rob, RTW, on the ones and twos, going to take us out. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
If there was ever a time to live united, it is now. Now is the time to speak with one